Welcome to episode 123 of the Workbench After Hours podcast. Got some interesting stuff to talk about after the debate last night. And with a upcoming presidential election, there's always the, are they going to be pro-gun, anti-gun? What should we worry about? We're going to talk about that. Something that happened with machine guns with a ruling in Kansas, surprisingly, and some other stuff. But while we do that, or before we do that, actually, Chris, what are we trying as the whiskey of the week?
We are trying the Redwood Empire Emerald Giant. So it's a rye. It's been aged for at least 4 years, and it's actually done in California. So we've had Pipe Dream before as their whiskey, and we really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, these aren't too terribly bad either in price. So
I think I paid $38.99.
Yeah, I think that's what
tax.
I paid for their whiskey. So
yeah. So we'll see. It's a rye, so it's probably just going to be just like a rye.
yeah.
Yeah. The cool thing is, so behind the name, it is called the Emerald Giant. There is in California a tree called the Emerald Giant tree. It's down a trail in the Redwood National Park, and it's actually, 359 feet tall,
1,180 years old.
Yeah, that's old. 1,180 years old. And it's the fastest growing redwood in the world, gaining over 50 cubic feet and more than 1,500 pounds of mass each year.
Jeez.
It's a big tree.
Man, that's crazy.
So, yeah, pretty cool. So, yeah, on the nose, I mean, really, I just get a lot of vanilla.
I get vanilla and spice.
Yeah.
You get the spice.
Maybe a little brown sugar.
Maybe, yeah.
All right. That was actually pretty good. You get like a lot up front initially, and then
like settles
down. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's like a long finish. I mean, they're still there, but not.
Yeah.
You get hit with a lot of flavor and stuff up front, and it kind of dwindles away.
Yeah, like the spice is there, and then it slowly dissipates.
Right. According to them, you're supposed to get an unparalleled spice complexity. I agree. We definitely got that. Smooth rye notes, a hint of honey, orange peel, and a peppery, lingering cinnamon finish. I don't know about the cinnamon.
I'm getting a little bit of that orange peel.
Yeah?
Yeah. Probably on the front end more, but I'm starting to I don't know.
Yeah, it's not good. Out of Sonoma County, California.
It's the only thing good coming out of California.
Right? 45%. Awesome. Yeah, so pretty good. Like I said, $38.99, give or take.
Yeah, and their whiskey was really good too when we tried it. We killed that bottle almost.
Yeah, they got at least two kind of around that same price range, and then the others kind of go
Yeah, they go up big time.
I think the next one was the one that we had right around 40-ish.
Yep.
And then it jumped to like 75.
Yeah,
for their other ones.
I think the other ones are their barrel strengths. That's why they're so high.
Well, they had those too. There was another one that was just this regular white label, and then it jumped up to the black looking labels that were all cast strength.
Yeah. Whew.
I tried to get Chris to do a cast strength tonight. Not of this. I was looking at the Keeper's Heart, the Irish plus bourbon, I think it was. We've had the regular one, loved it. We also like the white label, which is American plus Irish.
Yep.
But I prefer the black one, Irish plus bourbon. But they recently came out with, or I've seen recently come available, is their cast strength of that. It was 118 proof.
I don't know about that right now.
Hey. I don't think, we've been surprised. Some of the ones that have been higher proof don't really taste like.
Yeah, that's true. We've had some that are like lower proof, and it's like, whew.
I know. I'm getting to the point to where it was hard for me trying to figure out what I wanted, because a lot of the ones at the liquor store we've either had or were low proof. And I'm like, I want to go. I'm starting to like the higher proof stuff for sure.
Yeah, it's funny.
So, yeah, definitely good something to try, especially if you like rye.
Yeah.
I mean, this drink's just like a rye would.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
So I'm interested to see what it's going to be like on the rocks, but probably not going to. Look at that little pour. Come on. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I guess he is on call, technically.
Yeah. Technically, I'm on call.
Yes.
So I got to be careful.
Yeah. Well, Chris, did you catch any of the debate last night?
I watched about 10 minutes of it at the beginning. And then I was like, screw this.
Right.
I can already see how this is going. It felt very like 3-1. So I was like, I'm turning this off. And like, she didn't really answer anything. She kept like doing her normal thing, going around in circles. And like, she kept like insulting him, but she didn't have any facts.
Right. It was funny. Like, neither one of them answered any of the questions that were asked. And Trump just kept bringing up, you know, everything that they've done wrong and how his stuff was the best ever. I'm like, okay, guy.
Yeah.
You've said this in every speech you've done. Come up with something different. And yeah, she was on the attack for sure.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell that she went to a debate school or something. She was well prepared.
Well, there's also rumors coming out that her earring was an actual earpiece, which I could maybe see that because she has. The reason why they didn't want her doing debates in the primaries because they know she wouldn't do good. So I could almost see that being true.
But when they asked her the question, she immediately started going off on stuff. It wasn't answering the question, but she was going off on whatever she was talking about. So I don't think there was enough time for her to sit there and listen to whatever's in her ear because there would have been a pause, you know?
Well, maybe. It depends on how well you practice. If you keep practicing it over and over. I mean, they did have time to prepare.
They did. Yeah, it was that Matt Lauer or Matt Lear, whatever his name was. Man, he kept fact-checking Trump like crazy. And it's like, I get it. He may be stretching the truth a little bit, but...
Yeah, but...
Especially the one where he was saying that the immigrants in, was it Springfield, Ohio?
Yeah.
Or somewhere were eating the pets.
Yeah.
I
saw a video today about it.
Yeah, that pissed me off because a couple days ago, I was scrolling on like Yahoo, and there was an article on there saying that was the headline.
Yep.
Immigrants in, I forgot where it was, apparently it was in Springfield, but it said, you know, they were eating pets or killing pets, stuff like that. And then he said that on there. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then that moderator was like, no, that's not true at all. I have, okay, first of all, he must have known Trump was going to bring that up or something, because how would he have known to follow up with the city manager to fact check that?
Yeah. I guarantee he didn't fact check that.
It's like, okay, why do you have to call him out? Like, he didn't call Harris out on any of her stuff. He only called out Trump.
Man, there's one point in there I was like, man, he could have really have got her good on a rebuttal. Like, I was like, man, why didn't he do it? And I was like,
Probably he took some bait. He's probably trying to.
Probably trying to stay low. But man, there was something she said, and I was like, the reason it's that way is because of you. You're saying that you're the problem,
right?
And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, but I went back on and tried to search for that same article I saw on Yahoo News regarding the.
I'm seeing like body cam footage of it now pop up everywhere.
But the original article I found, you can't see it now. If you Google that, everything comes up saying, oh, it's not true, and it brings up the debate and everything like that. But it's like, he got that from the mainstream media. Yeah. You guys had that as a headline. That made me so mad. It's like,
that, and there's like body cam footage of it now, like police of like, smile, let me see your teeth, and it's like,
well, and the city manager, I mean, come on.
They're not
really?
They're not going to want to say that.
They're not going to say that. And are they, you know, do they know exactly what's going on? Probably not, because they're in their freaking offices, not out there on the streets. Yeah. So yeah, of course they're going to be like, yeah, no, that's not true. We don't want to show how bad our city is right now. So it's like, man, that really pissed me off, because I'm like, I saw that, and I get why he said that, because I saw that on mainstream media. Yep.
I saw it on like MSN at work, and I was like,
and now it's gone. Now if you Google that, it's all
fake news.
Yeah, I'm like, come on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that made me mad, but
yeah, it's crazy.
But surprisingly, you know, they're like, we have all these topics to go over, which they went over a lot, but one of them was not guns.
No, but
did you notice that?
Yeah.
Except for one comment, which we got have a little clip of up here, but usually that, you know, that's a common thing that they bring up, but not in this one.
I think I know Trump like really emphasized the border crisis we have and the inflation because of it, and
that and abortion was another huge topic.
Yeah, which they like skewed and changed his like wording around.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Like he's like, I was the first one for against Wade versus Roe and all that. And they're like, no, you weren't. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They kept changing his thing, trying to make it sound like he was. And I was like, what are you guys doing? He's told you guys, and he's saying it right here. You guys aren't listening. You're wanting to believe what you read.
Right. And then one of the things that Trump said, and then the commentator was like, well, it didn't sound like you said it that way. And Trump was like, it was sarcasm. He's like, well, it didn't sound like sarcasm to me.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to be debating Trump here.
No,
you're supposed to be
her and him.
It's it was definitely 3-on-1.
Yeah.
Specifically 2-on-1 with that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, wasn't the best debate for Trump, even though he said it was the best debate. Everything's the best with that guy. It's like, stop saying you're the best at everything, and just he needs to stop with that.
It's part of his disc assessment. He's a D for sure.
Right? It's like, oh man. But yeah, so since they wasn't a whole subject on really violence aside from the immigration, there wasn't anything on guns, but there was a little bit that Trump did mention, and she kind of brought out, but that was it. But this is what was on the clip, that a little bit of the gun debate anyway.
And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Yeah, so one of his comments, he's like, oh, she's going to take your guns away. And that was her response.
She said she didn't have guns before, though, I thought.
I don't know. I know, that Tim guy is like, oh, I'm a hunter and was in the military and we have this stuff. On her website, if you go to her website, which I'm going to screen share, on here, it specifically states under, the major gun violence tab or whatever, it says, she'll ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, require universal background checks, and support red flag laws that keep guns away from dangerous people. So, to me, that sounds like that you're going to take our guns away, right?
It still does, yeah. High-capacity rounds, which their definition of high capacity is anything over 10.
Right.
So that's every gun. So, yeah, I don't know.
So if that wasn't enough that it's posted on her website, we've got other clips of her saying stuff like this.
We want to ban assault weapons, and they want to ban books. And together, when we win in November, we are finally going to pass universal background checks, red flag laws, and an assault weapons ban. And consider weapons of war. It's just common sense to believe that they have no place on the streets of a civil society.
To me, that sounds like she's going to come after our guns.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, they consider ARs weapons of war, even though they're not.
Exactly.
They look like weapons of war, but they're not. They're not the same.
So she says she's not going to take them. Her other thing is doing a gun buyback, which sounds like it's going to be voluntarily done, but there's going to be a way that they do that. But here's what she said on Jimmy Fallon.
I do believe that we need to do buybacks, and I'll tell you why. First of all, let's be clear about what assault weapons are. They have been designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly. They are weapons of war with no place on the streets of a civil society. I'm prepared to take executive action and put in place a ban on the importation of assault weapons into our country. But we still have to deal with the over 2 million assault weapons that are currently in the streets of America. And so a buyback program is a good idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah, and there's not that many assault rifles. Like, I'm pretty sure...
In civilian hands, anyway.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the definition of assault rifle is you pull once and it keeps firing, right?
I know
Last time I looked it up.
I know one person that legally owns a full auto AR-style rifle, but the paperwork and the cost of that was astronomical.
Only the rich.
Yeah, exactly.
Only Camilla.
I think he's a doctor, so. But, yeah, what she's talking about is what is used in war overseas that we as civilians don't actually have.
We can, but it's going to cost you a lot of money and a lot of paperwork.
And it's not like you could buy a new one.
Yeah.
It's ones that were pre-banned and all that stuff, so they're going to be in probably the...
But I bet if we go over to the Middle East, we can get it for free from them.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to Afghanistan. I'm sure there's a lot over there they left.
There's a lot.
Yeah. So, obviously, she said on the debate, she's not taking our guns. They're gun owners. That was that. not a whole lot. But then you look back on her website, all these interviews that she's done, she's made it clear that she's going to keep doing what Biden did, but worse.
Yeah.
I think it was a few podcasts ago, we also had a clip of her and Biden during the 2020 era, where Biden was like, we have to stick to the Constitution, can't really just go banning stuff. And she's like, hey, Joe, don't say we can't, have a we can attitude and get it done. And it's like,
we got a Second Amendment. It's there for a reason.
And Joe's like, no, we do have a Constitution, which was surprising that Joe Biden was,
he
said
actually
that.
remembered something at that point. Like,
that was before
light bulb came on.
That was before he lost his memory and stuff like that. Went crazy. But yeah, so even Joe Biden was like that. So I think Joe Biden was really bad. Obviously, he's been wanting to push this agenda and has come up with the final rules, the Gun Safety Act that she's in charge of, and all this stuff. That's been the reason of the ATF final rules. But I think she's going to take it even further and try and just go around the whole Constitution and find a way.
Well, she's threatening with executive order. Like, at that point, there's got to be consequences.
Right. Apparently, she thinks she can do it. And, so it's obviously it's going to be 50-50 on who wins.
Yeah.
Right? The polls can say this, the polls can say that. I don't know who they're polling because I never get asked anything.
I don't even know who to believe anymore.
Right.
It's hard to keep facts.
And the debates, whatever. It could sway some votes, but there are a lot of people that want Trump.
Yeah.
But there are also a lot of people that don't want Trump and will vote for Kamala just because they don't want Trump. So there is obviously a 50-50 chance that she will get in office next year.
Yeah.
And she's going to really push all this gun control more than Joe Biden did. So what should you do to prepare for that?
Buy everything, keep everything, and don't tell the government what you got.
Right.
Simple as that.
Yeah. And it's funny because they want to, with the buybacks, obviously you can't buy anything back that you never owned. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to give you way less than what you spent.
Here's a $20 gift card.
I would say, even if it's 100, it's like, okay.
It's still not worth
it.
it.
The average price of an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle is like, if you buy one from Palmetto State, you're still $500.
Yeah, $500-$600. Even built. Like if you try to go built, it's probably about that.
But most people generally have at least $1,000 in them.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not getting anywhere near that for those. And then what they classify as assault weapons also are basically any semi-automatic handgun, too, that holds more than, 8 rounds or whatever they said now. So that's going to be
10 rounds or the potential to hold more than 10 rounds.
Yeah.
So that means your extended magazines and everything like that.
Yeah. Any handgun, any rifle, any shotgun, too, that has the capacity to take a higher capacity round magazine. And that is a lot.
Yeah, that's
so anything that's not a revolver, the lever actions,
even then,
maybe some of those can take, especially if you do shorts, it holds more rounds. So we're going to be stuck with pump shotguns, maybe some semi-automatic shotguns and revolvers, pretty much.
We're back to the West.
Or like guns like a single stack Glock 43 that holds 6.
Yeah, but it still has that potential to hold more. That's the problem.
I don't think they make magazines that hold more. I don't know, 43 anyway. So like anything that's double stack, you can take a 33 round magazine and stick it in there. But for the single stack locks, I don't know if they have anything.
I'm sure someone does out there.
Probably.
So
maybe you could 3D print one or something, but
yeah.
So obviously you want to focus on those type of guns.
Yeah, at that point, stock up.
It's like if you've been on the fence about buying an AR-15 and it's on your radar and you want one, I would say buy one before November or at least buy one before January.
At least the lower and then buy the parts.
When is the actual inauguration?
January 6th, I think.
Is it? Okay. So before January, and they brought that up a lot in the debate. It's like, why does this matter anymore? But
I don't know. One thing I remember in the debate that kind of made me laugh, she was talking about how Trump was selling chips to China and they're taking our technology and everything. And I was like, if I was Trump, I would have turned around like, and how many millions of dollars in military grade equipment did you give away? and just give to everybody all of our technology, like I would have turned around and said that.
He mentioned something that, they left billions of dollars of brand new equipment over there.
But she was saying that he's selling them our chips. So that's our technology. Even though we don't really produce chips, it's all Taiwan and China anyways. That's where we're getting most of our chips. That's why we had a chip shortage.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you're going to really say that? I was like, if that was me, I'd turn around and be like, how many millions of dollars in military grade weapons and technologies did you just throw away?
And it's like, oh, you had the worst unemployment rate. Yeah, because of freaking COVID.
Yeah.
Everything shut down.
That, and before that, we had the best economy we've had in a while.
He just got screwed by a pandemic that hadn't been seen in modern times.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course. And when 2020 happened, then they came over. Yeah, they inherited that. That Trump had no control. He was doing the best he could.
Yeah.
And, with the whole shutdowns and all that stuff, yeah, you're going to lose jobs.
Yeah.
So their job unemployment rate is going to rise. It happened. And they're trying to use that against him. And it's like, no, this is why it happened, because of COVID, not because of he had a crappy economy.
Yep. And then there for a while, we couldn't have a job if you didn't have your COVID shots.
Oh, and whether or not you're, pro or against the vaccinations, he's the reason that happened so quickly. He gave them the resources to basically put that together.
And your stimulus checks, your first round, he's the one that came up with that, and then they continued it to put us in more debt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now you're letting in, like, if you're looking at an economy, you're letting in all these people illegally, which they got to go somewhere. They're using your tax-paying dollars to be put up in hotels and whatnot. They're getting free health care and all that based on your tax dollars. They're also taking jobs away from us. So the economy is going to collapse if this continues. It's simple. And what is her plan for that?
Right.
Because she's the one that's letting all of them in.
Well, and Trump was bringing manufacturing back to America.
Yeah.
And
that's what needs to really
guess
happen.
what's getting back out of America?
Yep. And then she's like, oh, gas prices were so high under him. I'm pretty sure he had the pipeline that was coming here.
Gas prices were the lowest.
Yeah.
I remember seeing under $2.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think I saw like $1.09 at the lowest.
Probably, yeah.
And I was like, holy smokes, keep it going.
Yeah, definitely under $2.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been that low since Biden's been in office at all.
Nope. I don't think I've seen anything below 270.
Yeah.
I think that's like right now is the lowest I've seen gas prices in a while, and it's 289.
I have a company car, so I don't really
watch
the price of the gas.
Oh, I do, but I also put premium, and I try to put premium no ethanol in.
I mean, I put premium in my motorcycle, but I fill up. It costs me $12 to do that, so that's not a huge issue.
Yeah. So, but I think 289 is the cheapest I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
So, with all that said, with her wanting to ban guns, and even though she said last night she's not going to, we've shown that she's going to.
Oh, yeah.
So, obviously, if you've been on, like I said, if you've been on the fence about buying an AR-15, go ahead and buy one before January 6th or whatever the inauguration day is, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be high on her agenda, is to start trying to ban stuff unconstitutionally, like she said in 2020.
Yep.
And
I mean, they've been trying to do it since Biden got into office, do things unconstitutional.
And even if it's not even buying, like if you don't have the money for the full rifle, just buy a stripped lower. Like that's all you need. And then buy the parts as you can. Even if they ban them, I'm sure there's going to still be places you can find parts and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Your buddies probably have extra parts and stuff that you can get and build one. So really, and I mean, you can get a good stripped lower for around $100 or even less.
Yeah.
So that's really all you need to go through the FFL paperwork, and then the rest can
come as you need to.
Yeah, can be sent to your house.
I mean, that's
you can pick up in the store.
I think that's how we all started when we built ARs. We bought the stripped lower and then slowly pieced it together. That's what makes this gun so popular.
But then after I did that, I'm like, well, I have these extra parts laying around. Maybe I should build another one. And then you go buy the lower and all that.
I really want
stuff.
to build something else.
Yes. Yeah, I just built that red one behind Chris. There was my latest one. It's still trying to figure out the trigger. I got a mil-spec trigger in there right now. I'm thinking about the Elfman Tactical
Yeah.
triggers. Those look pretty sweet because those you can adjust not only the pull but the creep.
Yep.
And they're pretty slick. So I think my cost on them is like $180.
Just do it.
Yeah, I need to. And it's cool because instead of having the pins that go in them, they have actual like screws.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to worry. They do have like anti-rotation pins that you can do. And I've had those on one rifle, but it just takes away the aesthetic of the gun a little bit, I think.
I have it on my one, and I love them.
Yeah.
So I'll probably never go back to pins.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, so obviously I built one and it's super easy. Unfortunately, you can't find those videos on YouTube anymore, but I'm sure somewhere, like maybe Rumble. There's some videos. Check out Rumble because a lot of the big YouTube channels especially have moved over to Rumble. And unfortunately, Rumble is not as popular. I don't think anything's ever going to be as popular as YouTube.
Well, not for a while.
Yeah, and I've, years ago, I posted some videos over there on Rumble, and it's just not as user-friendly. If you're trying to upload, you're limited on like the thumbnails and stuff like that, and what you can do. It's not there yet. It has a potential, but it's going to be a while before it comes anything like YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
YouTube's had years to.
So even though you can't find those how to build an AR on YouTube, there's other platforms out there you can check out.
Most gun stores can help you too, I'm sure.
Yeah, or your buddy that
build.
yeah. You could definitely find a way to build your own. And honestly, it ends up. I get this question a lot: is it cheaper to build one or buy one? And it depends.
It does depend. I prefer to build things. So, because you can set your own budget, and you can kind of splurge where you want to. That's what I liked about it. So, like the bolt carrier group, everyone wants upgraded bolt carrier groups usually, and with a nickel boron or something crazy, and then barrels.
Yeah, it's once you get into it, like after you have your first AR, and then you're like, okay, this is where I want to upgrade things.
Yep.
Go from there. But when I got my first AR-15, I'm like, I don't even know what a bolt carrier group is. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
It took me like forever to figure it out. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, took it shooting. I'm like, it's smoking. Is that supposed to happen? Yeah, because it's gas operated, dummy. But yeah, I knew nothing about ARs, and I bought a Stag Arms Model 3, and it was okay. I think it was, I forgot what I paid. $700 or $800 maybe for it back in 2014-ish around there, and they don't even make that model anymore. But once I shot it, learned how to clean it, take it apart, and really got comfortable with it, that's when I'm like, okay, now I get why you need to upgrade things, and especially the furniture. The furniture was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
I did the stock, the handguard, and I think I did the charging handle. I kept the bolt carrier group because that was fine, and then I added on like sling attachment, stuff like that. So it's definitely something. If it depends if you should build one or buy one. If you just want one AR-15 and you're new to the platform, it makes sense to probably buy one from the factory because you can find some ones that are really good.
Yeah.
And then that's all you need. Yeah, maybe you want to update the charging handle, a couple things here and there that are small, not a big deal. It's when you start swapping out the big stuff is where it's like, okay, maybe it makes more sense to build one because if you buy one and then you're going to swap out the trigger, you're going to swap out the furniture, the bolt carrier group, all this stuff. It's like, well, you paid X amount of money for this, but you're not using a chunk of those parts.
Yeah.
It does make more financial sense to actually build your own because in that way.
Well, that too, like, I know when I built my second one, like a handguard, when I went the flat dark earth, there's so many choices.
Yeah.
And like eventually I found one, it was like $30. Like I was like, man, that's dirt cheap. And it was an M-Lock or key mod, I can't remember. But I was like, for $30, might as well give it a try. And it worked. I was like, you could save some money on that.
Key mod's kind of been phased out.
Yeah.
It's all M-Lock now.
Yeah.
You really Aero Precision used to make key lock, but they haven't made those in years. And
yeah. I can't remember why I wanted key mod though.
The key lock. I mean, it looked cool, I guess, and it's a little bit easier to install than those. I guess I don't know. I mean, I I think I had a key lock on one,
Yeah, I think you did too.
but it was one I sold. But I don't know. But there's it just depends. If you're, I mean, Smith and Wesson makes a bunch of different ones that are great from the factory. I really love the Springfield Saints. Those are freaking awesome. The one I really want, which I should just get, but is BCM, like the BCM Recce's. Those are awesome. You know, yeah, I'd like to update the trigger, but that's not a big deal. But if you buy a BCM Recce, you're pretty much
you're set.
Get a sight on it and
just run with it.
Yeah. So if you want to go the cheap route, like Palmetto Site Armory, yeah, you can buy the cheaper ones with the Magpul furniture and stuff like that. It's okay. You're probably going to swap stuff out, or you're going to want to get one with a free float barrel and a free float handguard, stuff like that. But
I don't know. I like tinkering, so I thought it easier to build.
Yeah. I would say if it's something you're not sure about, buy one from the factory. That way you can take it to the range. You're good to go. And then you're going to want another one eventually if it's something that you like. So then your next one, build.
Yeah.
And then you're going to know where, you know, on the one you bought from the factory that you want to upgrade. And then
because I think my first one, I was trying to keep it under 5.
Yeah.
And I think I did. Then the second one, I went a little bit more. I think I got all said and done. It was like close to $800-900.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of like BCM furniture on there, muzzle brakes and things like that.
Yep. And then that's when you start stepping up to like Wilson Combat, LWS.
Yeah.
You're getting
Yeah.
they're expensive for a reason, but those usually you don't have to change much on.
Yeah.
But you're paying a premium. Like
then you start going to the AR-10 platform, and that's where that's some bigger money.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because in all these mass shootings where they have an AR-15, not a single one is a 308 platform.
I know.
You notice that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like you could get a 30-round magazine and do a lot more damage with one of those.
Oh, yeah.
You think it's because it's more expensive?
Well,
Or
now it is.
Not quite as popular as the
I think
5.56
now,
stuff?
but like back then it was cheaper.
Yeah.
Like now it's...
Well, everything's gone up now.
But I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea.
Or
Like
maybe because it's more recoil?
maybe. There's
you
more
gotta think-
concussion for sure.
Yeah, more concussion. I don't know.
But you can do more damage further out. So
the ammo's more expensive.
Yeah,
so
it
maybe
is.
that's the thing.
maybe.
You know, in those mass shootings,
Maybe it's because
they
it's
don't
more
really say
considered
what,
like a hunting round, or
yeah. I don't know.
like 308's a hunting round and 6.5 Creedmoor. So I don't know.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing once you get into ARs, and it's like, okay, 308 platform too, a lot more expensive, but still pretty fun to do as well.
Yeah.
But aside from, okay, maybe buying in that AR-15 or at least the lower before the election, you know, maybe some parts here and there, magazines especially, because she's made that a huge priority too, that she wants to ban high capacity magazines, which are the standard capacity magazines, what they're referring to. So they're cheap. You can generally pick them up for, you know, $15 under, depending on the sale and what you go with. Magpuls, you know, depending on what gen, window, non-window. I would say on average, $12 to $15, 12 to 17 maybe, depending on color options.
Yeah.
But super easy to stock up on magazines. I have a bunch, and it's like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna. I have a whole ammo can full of ones I've had since like 2013 or 14, and they're just there. I have a bunch of AK mags. I got a bunch of like original Bakelite ones that I just have there. I have a AK drum magazine. I don't even own an AK, but I have these just because I got really addicted when I first got into guns. I just went all in and started buying a bunch of crap, especially once I've got my CNR license, started buying that kind of stuff. I've never owned an AK rifle. I owned an AK pistol. Absolutely hated it. It was not practical in any means. Sold that immediately after shooting it indoors. Yeah. And that's another thing. We're talking about ARs, but AKs are on that thing. Yeah. AKs aren't quite as popular here in the U.S. as AR-15s. Yeah. Obviously, because you never see those used in the shootings here.
I think it's just because AR-15s are so readily available for us, and it's America's gun. It literally is.
And you can easily attach any sight. Yeah. AKs, you got to get a side rail with a lot of them. It's a little more difficult. There's more recoil on those. The ammo's cheaper.
Yeah.
Not as accurate. That's a problem, is they're not as accurate. Maybe that's why.
Probably.
They are louder. And I don't know. I shot an AK rifle. It was okay. But I'm like, I prefer an AR-15 personally.
I love that.
I love the looks of the AKs.
Yeah. I actually watched a movie like The Inventor of the AK, and it was really interesting. But I was like, geez.
I do have an SKS, a Chinese SKS that I refinished. So, I mean, that was a predecessor to your modern day AK-47.
I don't know. AR is just a good looking gun.
Yeah. So I would definitely at least stock up on magazines.
Ammo.
30 rounds, maybe get some drum mags if that's your thing. 40 round magazines. If you're a Glock person, the Glock 33 mags are fun. I have one. There's one behind my shoulder. I'm not going to show it because we're live. Can't really show a lot of gun stuff when you're live streaming, but there's one behind me. And it's fun every now and then if you're just outside shooting and to just pull that out. And
it's kind of annoying.
It is.
It's like, are you done yet?
It's not practical, but it's fun.
Yeah.
If I had the Glock 18 or even a Glock Switch, it'd make it real fun.
Yeah, it would, but we can't have those.
We can't have those because they're illegal.
Yeah.
Even though apparently everybody has one. It's a huge issue, but
crazy.
It is. Yeah, magazines, ammo. I would probably say ammo too.
Yeah, because you never know. We go through those scares. It seems like around election times too. Like
that Obama era.
Yeah, like 223 went missing for a while.
Yeah,
and 5.56, and then I think everyone else just started buying other guns that they know they can get caliber for, and then eventually couldn't get that ammo. It's like, I feel like it's almost like we were going for allocated whiskey. All right, no, Friday this store has this shipment. You can get 2 rounds or 2 boxes, and
because I remember when my buddy first got me into guns about 2013, 14 is when I really started doing the buying. But that was when Obama was in office, and there was a huge scarcity of ammo and stuff like that. And I'm like, is this normal? Like, I didn't know, but because I remember having to go to Academy, you could buy, if you could find 9mm, you were limited to like 1, maybe 2 boxes at a time.
22.
Yeah, same thing.
I remember that.
I had my cousin was working at Academy, and I bought her a gift card. I'm like, anytime you see 22, buy it, because I worked out of town a lot. I'm like, just use this gift card to buy me some ammo, and I ended up getting a lot of 22. I got a lot of 22 ammo, so I'm good there.
Yeah,
5.56, pretty good there too.
But I think I try to keep 1,000 rounds or get to 1,000 rounds each caliber.
You just never know when there's going to be the next gun scare, gun ban, especially if Harris gets into office.
I mean, they've already tried going after ammo. At one point, because they knew they couldn't ban the guns, they started going after the ammo.
And there was that for a short time, a shortage in 5.56.
Yeah, which is kind of scary because that is.
People started hearing about they were going to do some things, and then all of a sudden you couldn't find 5.56 anywhere. And if you did find it, people were selling second market for a lot of money.
Yep.
It's like, man, no, just wait. It's going to come back.
Yeah, it's got to come back.
Time. And it has. So it's like the times like this where it's available. I wouldn't say cheap, but it's, kind of come back down in pricing to where it's not crazy expensive.
Yeah.
People are like, I could get it whenever. No, now's the time you need to
start stacking up.
Buy an extra box or 2 every now and then, and that'll add up. And then that way, with the next scarcity of ammo, you're set.
Yeah, I know. That's all I was doing. Like every paycheck, I'd just go buy what I could. And I think one day I was like, or how many rounds I got? And I was like, holy crap, I got over 1,000 rounds now.
Yeah.
Sweet. Guess I'll stop buying.
My goal is whatever caliber gun I have to have at least 1 ammo can filled with that ammo. Yeah. And I buy the boxes, so I just, fill it with the boxes of ammo. Yeah.
I've been taking them out of the boxes because I was tired of it, and I just put them in big Ziploc bags, and I labeled like, hey, this is my 223, this is 5.56.
Do that too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just throw the boxes in there because I was buying 1 or 2 at a time and just threw them in the ammo cans. Now it's like I got 1, if not more, of that caliber full of an ammo can, and I haven't bought ammo in forever because I got enough if anything ever happens.
Yeah.
And if I decide to go to the range, I'll just go buy a couple boxes at Academy or something, and maybe either rotate the ammo, like take some out of the storage that's a little bit older and replenish that and kind of just rotate it that way. And
Yeah.
It took a long time and quite a bit of money to get the stock I have, but
Yeah. I know there for a while. That's what I was trying to do with 6.5 Creedmoor. I was like, oh, this is getting a little out of hand because they got stupid expensive.
I need to start really focusing on 300 Blackout.
Yeah.
Because I love shooting that one behind Chris because it does have a suppressor on it if you can't see it. But you're looking at 20 something
For a box.
yeah, and it's not cheap. But I need to start, even with my dealer pricing, it's still not cheap,
Yeah.
especially if you go subsonic. So I need to really focus on that. But I do have a 6.5 Creedmoor rifle, the Mossberg. What is that? Patriot.
Yeah.
I think I have a couple boxes of 6.5 Creedmoor.
I think I maybe got 100 rounds. of
Yeah,
6.5
I definitely
Creedmoor.
need to get more.
That's
of
where
that.
I need to start building back up.
Yeah, I really want to get an AK. I got the magazines in the drum bag. I just don't have the AK. I
Better
need to
just
get
buy
one,
it now
right?
or
Yeah.
build one.
It's funny because back then, I was looking at them. Like, yeah, you could buy a Wasser 10 for $400, $500. I wish
Yeah.
I would have bought one back then because you can't find one for, they're $800-900.
Yeah. It seems like everything's doubled.
Yeah, it's crazy for a Wasser 10. They're garbage.
Yeah.
Really. I like the Zastava PAP rifles. I think the M70s is what they are now. You can get a couple different finishes. Those are sick. I need to get one. I really want to get an Arsenal though, but those are priced. They've gone up like crazy. They used to be like, $700 or so, and then they've doubled in price.
I mean, they're assets.
Yeah,
That's the way I look at it. Guns can be an asset. They
it
can,
sucks because you never know.
yeah, you never know.
Like that AK pistol I bought it for like $300-400. Sold it for around the same price because I ended up putting a SBA 3 brace on it. Man, I should have kept that because it doubled in price over COVID.
Yeah.
It's like I could have made a lot more money on that sucker.
Yeah. COVID was crazy.
Even
Everything.
now, those things are going for like crazy money.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it was a PAP 92.
Things are going to
92.
get some. I think eventually they'll come back down, settle back down a little bit, but I don't know.
It depends on who gets in office. If
Yeah.
Trump gets in office,
It might come back
you're going to
down.
start seeing prices go down, more inventory, stuff like that. Harris gets in office, you're going to start, if she gets elected, you're going to start seeing ammo
Be
probably
gone.
disappear.
Yeah.
And then, right now you can easily find an AR lower. You can easily find ARs, AKs.
You can find most of
generally.
their parts too.
I think if she gets elected, you're going to start seeing the supply go
Yeah.
quite a way down.
So hopefully all those AR manufacturers are
Yeah.
keeping
So,
stock
so you're not like panic buying last minute. Just
Yeah.
start,
slowly.
buying a magazine here and there, buying some extra ammo here and there.
Lower parts kit,
Exactly. It
buffer tube kit.
yeah, because even if you have an AR-15 and you're like, this is the only one I want, parts are gonna break.
Yep.
Have some extra parts: gas tube, gas block, your springs.
Your cotter pins
Yep.
for your firing pins.
Because even if you change stuff out, you're probably gonna lose
Yeah.
those freaking detents and springs, man.
I hate those damn things. I had to go buy like a pack of 10 just so
Right.
I had spares.
Yep.
Oh, those things piss me off.
Yeah, I have a lot of spares, but I have a special tool to do it.
And it's still.
But
pain
even
in the
then,
butt.
like I'm not paying attention, or I do it too slow, and bam,
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, there goes, and then I'll be cleaning the garage. I'm like, there's that spring I
Yeah.
was looking for.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you guys think if you're listening, since we are live.
Yeah.
What else you would recommend buying? Probably, because it hasn't been brought up recently, but it has been brought up in the past. Body armor.
Yeah. That's one thing I was going to say. Because there for a while, they were talking about banning that. And it's like, you
Yeah.
might want that.
It's an investment. It's not super expensive. The plate carrier back there, I got. Oh, I forget what brand that is. But my armor I actually got from AR 500, or no, that's an AR 500 vest. I got the actual plates from Police Gear, or Police Gear, something like that. AR 500 is pretty good, and they have sales, so that's something maybe you're thinking about. Always good to have. Because that is something that they've tried to ban that at one point.
Yep.
During Biden's, I think it was Biden,
It was
right?
Biden.
Yeah. So not high on their thing right now, but
Could
be, especially with Harris and how anti-gun she is and wants to ban all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. What else were they trying? And then after they ban all this, they're gonna go after your knives next. So you must
if you have a pistol that has larger capacity rounds, like with me, Springfield XDMs, love those. I think I have one that holds like 19. Buy some extra mags.
Yeah.
Because your mags are gonna wear out. It's nice to have those. And if they ban those, just storm away.
Yeah.
And then you have them when that ban
save
goes
them for
away.
a rainy day.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you lost them in the bottom of the lake. Dang, boating accident.
Kind of like those SBA 3 braces. Everybody lost those, and somehow they all got recovered.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Even if you have a pistol, honestly, it's always good to have extra mags, especially if you're in the higher capacity that they're talking about. Have some extra mags. That way you have them in case they go away.
Yeah, because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. And there's no way for them to really track those. Pay cash. Go where, pay cash.
I say pay cash for everything if you can.
Yeah.
Especially if that person gets into office.
Here's the thing. Like when she says she wants to do universal background checks.
We already do it, background checks.
Exactly. But that basically would get rid of your private gun sales.
Yeah.
Technically is what the only other thing that would possibly do, because otherwise, if you legally buy a gun from an FFL,
Yeah.
you have to go through a background check.
Yep.
Private sales, not so much. You can just do a bill of sale if you want to do that.
It's a little iffy, but
Yes. But so that's the only thing we're trying to get done. But how do you enforce that without doing some sort of gun registration?
Yeah.
Because I can be like, yeah, we did a background check. How are you going to prove that?
yeah,
Unless they take your gun and do a trace.
that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But
There's no other way to enforce that other than having some sort of registry, though.
yeah.
Because then you can really do the trace, but I don't know how you would enforce universal background checks without having a gun registry. There's no way.
Yeah, and you're not
because
supposed
if you
to.
get pulled over and a cop goes, "Hey, did you do a background check on that gun?" Yeah. How do you prove that? Either
Yeah.
way.
Or you just don't tell them.
Because technically, what I've been told by the ATF, since I'm an FFL dealer, once you run the background checks, and the ones that come back as proceed get wiped from their system. Supposedly. The ones that are denied, they do keep a record of that transaction, but the ones that are proceed, supposedly, those go away. They clear out after so long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows?
So and clearly what we've seen, especially with some recent shootings, red flag laws don't work.
Well, that, and I think if they're going to, it'd be kind of easy too for them to build a registry already.
Oh, yeah.
Just because if you do have a concealed carry, you've had to get a license, you got fingerprinted, they'll know that you had a gun.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like, people don't think about that. Well, I got concealed carry. Yeah, but they keep track of that. You got to go register it. You got to keep it up to date.
Yeah.
Like,
They know you probably have a gun. They don't know how many you've.
yeah, but you're pretty much saying, hey, I got my concealed carry. Hey, I've got a gun of some sort.
Right. Even if you do a background check, or like a Form 4473 and a background check, yes, you're going through the system. They probably know you're buying a gun, but they don't know what. They know if they were to get the form, they know you got a pistol, rifle, or shotgun.
Or other.
In the background check anyway, system, it only asks for a pistol, shotgun, frame, whatever. In the background check system, it never asks for like what gun it is. It never asks for the serial number. It just asks what type of gun it is.
It doesn't ask for manufacturer or anything like that.
Yeah, that's all only on the form, and the form is kept by that gun dealer. Unless that gun dealer decides to go out of business or their license is revoked, then all the forms go to the ATF. So that's where it becomes a little bit iffy. It's like, okay, then they say they're not creating a registry because they digitally scan all those documents. And if you've ever digitally scanned a document, there's an easy way to search.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be the only thing. Do you guys have like a 10-year or 5-year rule? So after like 5 years, you can get rid of your records.
It was 20. you have to keep them for 20 years.
Oh wow,
Which is a long time.
yeah, it is. It's crazy, like because I know with like certain industries and things like that, you got to have record of your logs or whatnot that you've done. And usually it's like 5 years, and after 5 years, you can get rid of it.
I don't know if they change it to where it's indefinitely, but it at least used to be and probably still is 20 years.
Dang,
Which
that's crazy. That's a lot.
I've been in business since 17, still nowhere near that 20-year mark. But even if I decide to go out of business at 20 years, I still got to turn everything over. Which I mean,
but if it's at that 20-year mark, you're over 20 years, you could
I
delete
do
it.
all mine paper form just because I don't trust the electronic forms because I don't know really where those are going or being stored.
Yeah, you got to cover your own ass too.
And what sucks is the paper forms. I got to store those somewhere, and I got 632 of them right now.
Oh wow!
So I got a big old stack of them, and it's like, man, if I keep staying in business, that stack is just going to get bigger and bigger. I keep them in my safe, but it's like at some point I'm going to run out of room.
Yeah, I know at work I got to keep 5 years of my logs of all my calibrations and things I do. Mm-hmm. And then so now I've been there long enough. I'm like, all right, so now I can take off that year and shred it or burn it or throw it away. And I usually just shred it and then throw it away. But
yeah, taxes is what, 7 years?
Yeah. God, I hate that too. So yeah, it sucks.
All right, so body armor,
ammo, guns.
Yeah. What else do they?
Those are usually the things they go after. So
yeah. So you're pretty good there. Parts for stuff. It's probably the main stuff.
Yeah. I feel like we're preaching to the choir all over again.
Exactly.
I feel like we're almost in a time loop.
Exactly.
Same thing, different day.
I know. 4 years ago, we said the same thing. It is probably we should talk up on. But yeah, if she does get elected, you're gonna probably start seeing things disappear. Ammo prices either going up or become scarce.
That and them trying to make their own laws.
Yeah. And if Trump comes in office, everything will kind of smooth out. We probably won't have much to talk about. But if she gets in office, we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And, oh, man.
Yeah, it'll be crazy.
Yeah.
Scary.
See how that goes.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you guys have anything else that you would recommend to anybody, let us know down in our comment section, too. If you're listening on audio only, jump over to YouTube or leave us a voicemail on our website, boomstick-tactical.com. There's that leave a message for the podcast thing. You can do that, or just simply jump over to YouTube, leave a comment down below. But in other news...
I was getting ready to ask, you going to forget about the other thing?
No, I just mentioned that because, you know... So something that recently popped up, which is interesting, and it happened to be in Kansas. You might start seeing a couple things like this. Are machine guns going to become legal now? Maybe. I mean, they are legal technically
if you do the right paperwork.
Yeah,
and everything.
you got to go through the NFA Act. You got to get approval from your sheriffs, and it's a process, and they're expensive.
Yeah,
I think if you jump on Gunbroker, I mean, you're looking at a minimum of $16,000. Yeah, then you have to have a approval from your sheriff's department and all this stuff. Not easy to get a full auto, but it's possible if you go the right work. You can also make your own, but that's a whole.
Don't get caught with it.
That you can easily drill a hole in your AR-15 receiver, and a couple other things. And if you get the full auto bolt carrier group, you get the right trigger, which you could probably develop yourself. You could honestly actually find these on certain websites.
Yeah.
Not that I would know personally, but
they're out there.
Yes. Not that I would ever have one, just in case a zombie apocalypse comes. But you know. But recently, so a U.S. district court in Kansas agreed with a federal public defender over a set of machine gun charges, tossing them out as unconstitutional with the right to keep and bear arms.
Hell yeah.
So, not a huge deal right now. I mean, big picture, but it could be.
It's kind of like Texas.
Also depends on who gets in office.
Yeah.
So, the judge that actually ruled this is John W. Brooms,
it looks like.
a Trump-appointed judge from 2018 agreed with a motion from the Federal Public Defender Office in Wichita, not too far from us, sister lives there, to dismiss a 2-count indictment against a local man for possessing a pair of unregistered post-1986 machine guns, arguing the charges went against the history and tradition of the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution by imposing a blanket prohibition on machine guns, and is thus unconstitutional as applied to the defendant. You want to read the rest there?
Brooms wrote plainly in his 10-page order, granting a dismissal of charges that the court finds that the Second Amendment applies to the weapons charged because they are bearable arms within the original meaning of the amendment. The defendant, Tamori Morgan, was indicted by a federal grand jury last April with possession of an Anderson AM-15 pistol, 300 blackout handgun, and a Glock 33 and 357 SIG with a conversion device, charging him with 2 violations of the federal machine gun statutes. To this, the federal public defender argued that the recent case law, such as the Supreme Court's 2022 Bruin opinion, establishes that the government must show that the 1934, 1968, and 1986 regulations on the machine guns are in line with the country's historical traditions of firearm regulations.
So, this could
open the door.
Eventually make it up to the federal Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And would be an interesting thing because obviously this judge had the right position.
Yep.
Obviously, because there's nowhere in the Constitution, nowhere in the Second Amendment to where it says, hey, you can't have a full auto gun.
Yeah. It's true.
There.
I mean, it's true.
It is. Just putting it out there. But that brings up, like, could this potentially go to the Supreme Court? And if the current justice is there, like Clarence Thomas is there, who sees the right way and can really read the Constitution for what it is, would that change things?
Good.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Then we'd be really talking about an assault rifles ban.
Yeah. Then they can be like, oh, yeah, those are assault weapons. Oh, okay. Well, we can't really argue with that.
Yeah. It meets the definition now.
Yeah. So that's an interesting ruling, and we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Now, don't start thinking,
oh, they're legal.
It's legal to own it.
It's not. It's not.
Like, it still is, but you got to go through the proper routes and
paperwork.
Processes. So you can't just go make your own without, having to potentially serve 10 years in jail and all that stuff. So don't start making your own. Well, if you do, fine. Do whatever you want to do. Don't bring it out in public.
Don't get caught with it.
Don't get caught with your full autos just yet.
Yeah.
But that is interesting. Anderson AM-15 pistol, the cheapest, lowers you can get. I don't know if I would trust Anderson lower full auto.
I probably would.
And why a Glock 33? That is definitely their least popular gun.
I don't know.
357 SIG? Like,
yeah.
No thanks.
I don't know.
I don't want to.
To each their own, I guess.
I don't want that in full auto.
No.
Glock 19, Glock 17.
Yeah,
sure.
maybe. Yeah.
357 SIG? Man, that shit is expensive.
300 blackout handgun.
So he So he probably made it himself.
Yeah.
Because obviously those weren't made post 86. So good on that
Yeah.
judge and defender. I mean,
that's crazy.
I want to know who that public defender was.
I mean, it's true. The Constitution.
That guy got lucky.
Yeah.
He got the right judge.
And the right. Yeah, everything.
So interesting. It could bring up some topics. Let us know in the comments if you think full auto should just be an average everyday gun you can go buy. That's iffy. What do you think, Chris? What are your thoughts on just an average American being able to go buy a full auto?
I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
To be honest, because that point it's a weapon of war. It truly is. And I mean, I don't know. It would be fun to have. Like, it'd be cool.
As
like,
a law-abiding citizen, it would be fun.
Yeah, it would be. But you can see you're already having problems with semi-automatics, and now you want to bring in full auto.
Oh,
that
could you imagine a school shooting with full auto?
Oh my God, massacre. Like, full-fledged.
Yeah.
Like,
it would, if that were to ever come off the NFA Act, it would, oh man, somebody would do something stupid real quick, and all of a sudden, bam, we all lose it again.
yeah, like,
That's the problem. And there's the huge problem with the Glock switches with kids that aren't even old enough to own handguns.
Yeah.
They would just be able to easily go and
That'd be
these-
scary. Like, I think that one should still probably remain as an NFA item.
I think if you go through, if you handle it like you do suppressors, like you should be able to make new full auto weapons. Like,
Yeah.
but I still think it should be kept on the NFA.
Yeah.
I honestly think suppressors should be taken off the NFA.
So do I.
Because
I think
it's just,
that and SBR
it's
should
just
be.
PPE.
Yep.
SBR is not going to.
If anything, it's going to make it more difficult
Yeah,
for you to
that
control.
should be taken off. But the NFA Act should probably stay in play just for
Full auto.
full auto.
Yeah, I agree.
I totally agree with making new full autos, all this cool stuff, but you have to go through the NFA
Yep.
to get them.
I agree with it.
Because somebody that's going to go through that whole process probably isn't going to do something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can't just sell it to any Joe Schmo.
Yeah, you got to go to like class 3 and all that.
Yeah, you got to find somebody with the right license and do
Yeah.
it properly. So I'm totally for legalizing, making new full
Yeah.
auto stuff. Unfortunately, I might get a lot of hate for this, but I do think it would make sense to do that as you would any other NFA item.
Yep.
But take off suppressors and SBAs.
Yeah.
Or
SBRs.
SBRs or
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree with that. Like, that would be.
God, yeah, I just
You'd have like city takeovers instantly, I think, at
Mm-hmm.
that point.
yeah. Those would get in the wrong hands real quick.
Yeah, and it'd be fight or flight, I think, and that'd be really scary.
Oh yeah. And especially with these immigrants, that
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
what's that gang that we talked about?
The Swaling Gang or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah.
But as a gun owner, I would love to have a full auto.
So would I, but
I would. Obviously, we're responsible gun owners.
yeah.
I wouldn't shoot it very often because, again, ammo is expensive, and you shoot
Yeah.
one magazine out of that. What in the world is that?
Apparently, it's something. I don't know what it is.
I have that turned off on my phone. Oh my God! Did
It's
somebody?
on my work call.
Oh, okay.
It's an Amber Alert.
Oh, okay. I have those turned off on my phone just for that reason because I had my earbuds in
It
once.
scared the shit out of you.
Dude, it almost made me go deaf.
Oh, I bet.
Like,
I usually have
It's-
that turned off, but this was my on-call phone, so I don't. I mean, they've changed the ringer on it like 3 or 4 times now. Like, it went off last night, and it sounded like Star Trek, and I thought the kids were down there watching some space program. And then I was sitting there, I was like, and then Ryder yelled at me, "Dad, what's that noise?" I was like, "Oh, it's not the TV." So I ran down there, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Right.
And then they called my personal, and I was like, "Oh,
well,
no."
there was some kid like had hearing damage because he had earbuds in that went off
Yeah.
and like freaking blew out his.
I think they should get rid of it.
Yeah, I obviously have mine turned off,
Yeah.
but I remember having that turned on and I'm like, man, I had my earbuds in. I'm like, holy shit, I had to tear those things out because it's freaking loud.
Yeah, it is.
And there's no way to control the volume of that either.
That should be like an alarm clock
Right.
sound.
Right. So that was just an Amber Alert. There's
Yeah. Yeah.
no civil unrest going
Yeah.
on yet.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know after that
They're
debate.
listening to us or something.
Yeah, I didn't know if after that debate there was a civil unrest that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, nope. So
All right. Cool. Well, yeah. Let us know what you guys think about the full auto thing. Should it still stay on NFA or not?
I think it should,
Yeah.
but
Because people would take advantage of that real quick. And yeah.
it'd be scary. Real scary.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would take advantage of that, and then we would quickly. It takes one stupid person to
I
ruin it
think-
for everybody.
I think at that point there might be like
because
a
honestly,
war.
anybody could honestly make their own full auto.
Oh, yeah, it's-
pretty damn easy.
yeah,
But if you do it and you get caught, you're in a lot of trouble.
yeah,
I think you should stay that way. unless you go the proper routes.
Yeah.
Go through the proper background checks.
I mean, it's made for the rich.
Yeah.
Really, it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like,
But-
if they're going to make it affordable, maybe.
Yeah. Like if you start making them now, but in order to do it, you got to go through the NFA, do all the paperwork,
Yeah.
get fingerprinted, all that stuff. If you have to go through that, you're probably not going to commit crimes with it. You're just going to have it in your collection. Make it more affordable. But again, ammo's expensive. You're
You're going to go through it quick.
You are. But it's still, as a responsible gun owner, I think it'd be fun to have
Yeah.
for us. Because, we won't do stupid shit.
Yeah.
And if the zombie apocalypse does come, we're prepared.
Yeah. But
Technically prepared for that in case that does come anyway. But
yeah, it'd just be scary, I think. I think we'd have a lot more issues,
yeah.
especially gang violence.
Could you imagine shooting a full auto shotgun, like a 12 gauge?
Oh, my God.
Oh, that would hurt.
Yeah.
Your shoulder would.
At that point, you're gonna try to be hipping it and be like, oh.
Yeah. Are there any full auto shotguns? You think?
I don't think so. There might be. Who knows? I'm sure someone's figured it out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
ugh.
Well, cool. Well, I think that's honestly all I had this week. Crazy debate stuff, and then what you should do just in case the wrong person gets in office. So yeah, we said it all. We've said it multiple times throughout all of our podcasts. If you guys want to check them out, they're there in the playlist, the Workbench After Hours playlist. Check them out. So yeah, like I said, check out our website, boomstick-tactical.com. There is some stuff available for sale. If you are looking for something specific, let us know. We are a licensed gun dealer. And we do transfers. If you live in Kansas, we do $20 transfers as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if YouTube Live will hate
Like
that, but
we'll find out.
I know you can't hold a gun. So
Yeah.
we're not holding guns.
Yeah.
And I can't post links down below to our website, but
Yep.
whatever. All right, so this stuff was good. It definitely kind of dumbed down the spiciness on
on the rocks.
for sure, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
So with that, we appreciate you guys watching. Again, any comments, just post down below. Check it out. What do you got to say, Chris?
Remember, this is a YouTube podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and tickle that bell. If you're listening on those platforms, hit that follow button. And with that, everybody, have a good one.